Julie Carter had spent 6 years building a life she believed was safe. She trusted Austin Reed, her fiancé, with her future, and she trusted Alice Morgan, her best friend, with her heart. Julie believed in loyalty. She believed in love. She believed the people close to her would never hurt her. But that belief died in front of 300 people on her wedding day. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, nobody expected an answer. It was just a wedding formality. But Alice stood up. Julie thought Alice might be sick. Maybe she needed to step outside. But then she heard words that felt like a knife cutting through her soul. I object because Austin has been sleeping with me. At first, Julie did not believe what she heard. Her mind froze. Her heartbeat stopped. She looked at Austin, and he did not look shocked, he looked exposed. That was when the truth hit her. The man who promised to love her had cheated on her. But the person he cheated with was not a stranger. It was Alice, the friend Julie loved like family. The friend who had stood beside her during her father's funeral. The friend who helped her choose her wedding dress. The friend she had trusted more than anyone. The betrayal was not only about cheating. It was about lies. It was about time. It was about pretending. Austin tried to speak. Julie, please, it's not what you think, he said, but his voice was weak. She saw fear in his eyes, not fear of losing her, but fear of losing control. Alice started crying, but her tears were fake. There was no guilt in her voice, only pride. She wanted to hurt Julie. She wanted attention. It was not a confession, it was an attack. Guests pulled out phones and began recording the moment. Some whispered. Some stared like they were watching entertainment. People love drama more than truth. People love destruction more than loyalty. Julie understood that in that moment. She had two choices: break down in front of everyone, or protect her dignity. She chose dignity. She did not scream. She did not beg Austin for answers. She did not ask Alice why she did it. She asked only one question: how long? When Alice said, 6 months, Julie's heart went silent. 6 months of lies. 6 months of betrayal. 6 months of sleeping next to a man who had already betrayed her. 6 months of smiling with a friend who had already decided to hate her. Julie did not ask any more questions. She did not need to. People show you who they are. You just have to stop making excuses for them. She turned to the officiant and said calmly, there will be no wedding. Guests gasped. Austin reached for her hand, but she stepped away. Don't, she said. Just one word, but that one word ended everything between them. She walked away alone. And then, something happened nobody expected. Seth Bailey, the best man and Austin's business partner, walked after her. He said nothing. He did not try to comfort her with fake words. He did not ask questions. He simply walked beside her as if saying, I am here. You will not walk through this alone. When the doors closed behind them, Julie finally let the pain out. She had held in her heartbreak to protect her dignity, but now it rushed out of her like a storm. She broke down, not because she was weak, but because she had been too strong for too long. She cried for 6 years of love that turned out to be a lie. She cried for the best friend she lost. She cried for the woman she used to be, the one who believed betrayal would never touch her life. But Seth stayed. He did not walk away. He did not treat her like she was broken. He simply said, you are not alone. Not anymore. And even though her world had fallen apart, a tiny part of her heart understood something: pain would not end her. This moment would not end her. This was not the end of her story. This was the beginning of a new one. Julie did not disappear because she was weak. She disappeared because she needed space to survive. After leaving the wedding, she turned off her phone, blocked Austin and Alice, and refused to explain anything to anyone. She did not owe the world a statement. She did not owe anyone her pain. She stayed in silence, and silence is powerful because it scares people who expect a reaction. Seth stayed by her side, not because he wanted anything, but because he understood something no one else did. She needed protection from noise, not sympathy. For days, Julie could not eat or sleep. Betrayal does not just hurt emotionally, it shakes your identity. She kept asking herself questions that had no answers. How long was I blind? Why didn't I see it? Was I not enough? That is what betrayal does, it makes you doubt your own worth. But Seth stopped her before she drowned in self-blame. He said, "You were honest. They were not. Never punish yourself for trusting people who did not deserve your trust." Those words did not heal her, but they helped her stand again. And that was enough for now. In the second week, Julie made her first strong decision. She went back to get her things from Austin's penthouse. She arrived alone, because this was a battle she needed to face by herself. Austin tried to look innocent, tried to look broken, but people who only regret after being caught are not sorry. They are only afraid. He begged her to talk. He cried. He tried to hold her hand, but she moved away. She said, "You did not just cheat on me. You lied to me every day for 6 months. That is not love. That is manipulation." Austin said it was a mistake. Juliet said, "A mistake is one time. You did this with full planning for half a year." And just like that, the last piece of his control over her died. She did not fight him. She did not argue. She simply ended the conversation and walked away with her boxes and her peace. Now she had a choice, stay broken or rebuild. She chose to rebuild. She restarted her work as a private chef. She went back to cooking inside rich homes, hosting private dinners, creating flavors that told stories without words. Her work became her therapy. Pain did not control her anymore, she used it as fuel. Her clients returned, one by one, because talent cannot be destroyed by heartbreak. Soon she became booked for weeks ahead. People did not know the full story, but they knew one thing: Julie was strong. But she still carried a silent fear, that she would trust the wrong people again. Seth understood that fear without her saying it. One evening, he told her the truth he had been hiding: "I knew something was wrong months ago. I confronted Austin, but I chose to believe him. I stayed quiet. That was my mistake, and I will carry it." Julie did not get angry. Instead, she respected him even more. Why? Because he did something Austin never did: he told the truth, even when it made him look wrong. Life began to change. Julie started to rise again. But her rise did not come from revenge. It came from discipline and purpose. Then a turning point came. Seth walked away from his company, Reed Bailey Technologies. He sold his 40% ownership and ended his partnership with Austin forever. Austin tried to stop him, tried to remind him of their success. But Seth said, "I will not stand with someone who destroys people who love them. Business has no value without honor." That decision changed everything. It proved that Seth was not like Austin. He did not choose greed. He chose loyalty. And he chose respect for Julie. Then something big happened. Julie opened her own restaurant, Julie's Table. It was not huge or fancy. It was honest. Every dish had soul. Every review praised her. She did not need big lights or loud marketing. Her work spoke for itself. Her name was no longer tied to a scandal. It was tied to success. During this time, Seth stayed close, but never crossed a line. Until one night, he finally said the words he had carried for years: "I love you. I have loved you for a long time. I don't want to rush you. I don't want to hurt you. I am not asking you for an answer today. I just want you to know the truth." Julie did not run. She did not panic. She looked at him and said, "I don't know if I am ready." And Seth gave the perfect answer, "I will wait. You don't owe me love. You only owe me honesty." That was the moment Julie felt something she thought she had lost: trust. Act 2 was not about love. It was about healing. And she was finally healing. Success did not come to Julie by luck. She earned it one long day at a time, one hard choice at a time, one silent victory at a time. While most people expected her to break after betrayal, she did something they never expected: she transformed. Her restaurant, Julie's Table, was not just a restaurant. It became a story of strength. People came not only for the food, but for the feeling. Julie did not cook meals, she cooked emotions. She cooked healing. She cooked truth. Soon big magazines wrote about her. TV hosts talked about her. She did not chase fame, fame found her. And while her life was rising, something else was happening far away from her: karma was working on its own. Austin Reed, the man who once believed he could cheat and still win, started losing everything he thought he controlled. Without Seth, his company lost its balance. Poor leadership, ego-based decisions, and dirty business tactics destroyed Reed Bailey Technologies from the inside. Investors backed out. Clients left. Lawsuits came. His name became a warning in the business world. Austin did not fall because Julie attacked him, he fell because betrayal always returns home. Alice Morgan also disappeared from the spotlight. After ruining her best friend's life, she thought Austin would choose her. But people who cheat never stay loyal to their partners. He used her. Then he threw her away. She had no friends left, no respect left, no stable life. She destroyed Julie trying to win, but she only destroyed herself. This was not revenge. This was result. During this time, Seth built something new and meaningful. He used his skills and heart to create a company focused on real change. Investors trusted him because they knew he was a man who chose people over greed. His company received a $50 million investment offer. He turned it into a strong mission that helped communities and gave people real opportunities. Julie and Seth were not just rebuilding their lives, they were rebuilding their purpose. Their connection grew naturally. There were no games. No lies. No emotional pressure. They shared long nights of conversation, quiet support, and real partnership. Seth did not try to save Julie, he stood beside her while she saved herself. That's why she fell in love with him, not suddenly, but wonderfully. The man who once stood silently beside her at her worst moment was now the man who believed in her best future. One night after a long day of work, Seth came to her restaurant with something simple in his eyes: truth. He did not kneel. He did not give a long speech. He simply held her hands and said, "I don't want a perfect love story. I want an honest one. I want a life where we tell the truth, even when it's hard. I don't need a big wedding. I don't need the world to watch. I only need you. Marry me." There was no fear in Julie's heart this time. There was peace. She said yes, not because she needed someone, but because she chose someone who truly chose her. Their wedding was small and private. No crowd. No show. No fake promises. And one big difference from the first wedding: there was no maid of honor. Trust was not given again easily. Trust would only live where loyalty proved itself. Julie did not celebrate with noise. She celebrated with meaning. This time, her marriage was not built on performance, it was built on partnership. Years later, her business grew into a brand. She opened more restaurants and was invited to speak to young women about strength and independence. Seth's company changed industries and created real solutions. Together, they built a life that was quiet but powerful. One day, Austin saw Julie on television during a business interview. She looked strong, confident, successful, and truly happy. He finally understood the truth: he did not lose her because she wasn't enough. He lost her because he never deserved her. Julie's story did not end in pain. It ended in power. She learned that not every battle needs revenge. Some battles are won by walking away and never looking back. She learned that loyalty is not proven by words but by actions. And most of all, she learned that love is not about saying, "I love you." Real love is about saying, "I will not leave." Her message became her legacy. Walk away from what breaks you. Build with what chooses you. Loyalty is rare, protect it.